Hey, boat friends, boat friends, boat friends. Friday here in Duluth, Minnesota, we have the Sea Bear. That's a pilot boat. See it right in this direction over here. They get everything set up here. So take a look right there. That's the Sea Bear. So a lot of people have asked me over time, do we have pilot boats here? Is there a pilot? And in the background, you can see the Federal Euchera. This pilot boat just dropped off a pilot at that vessel, and it should be coming in here tonight. So I wanted to show you this, give you a feel for what's going on in Duluth right now. Hey, Becky, how are you? Hey, everybody. So again, you have a pilot boat that's right out there on its way under the lift bridge. Let me see if I can zoom in even closer for you. Just dropped off at that vessel that you see out there at anchor. It's going to be coming inbound to load iron ore, and that's very odd. I guess I really haven't heard about that too many times in the past where you have these ocean-going vessels coming in to load iron ore. It's going to be going over to CN, but I wanted you to see this pilot boat, 45 feet in length. Interesting, very interesting, different looking vessel. Did a little bit of research before I came out here. It's called the Sea Bear, and its former name was the Narrows. It was built in 1959 in Massachusetts for use as a pilot boat in New York. And Sea Services LLC, they bought this boat and brought it to Duluth in September of 2002. You can see they have the fenders there on the side, so when they bump up against these ships, they'll have no issues. But take a look. Aerial lift bridge is going up. It's not going to go 135 feet. It's going to be probably a quarter of the way up. There you go. Something different, little different action in the evening. Hopefully you're having a great Friday. It's about 72 degrees, cooling down quickly here in Duluth, Minnesota. 16 mile per hour wind gusts out of the northeast. And one thing that I'm looking forward to is when you see the pilot boat going back inbound, the pilot is now on that ocean going vessel. So I'll be out here a little later. Not going to go live for that one. I'm going to actually do a video in 4K so that way I have good quality for you. There's a bonus sailboat that's going in. Green and white, looking good. Where's everybody at? So I know, Chuck, you're in Columbus. I think I saw Tersa that's on there. She's in Minnesota. Kind of throw out where you're at on a Friday night. Hey, Becky in Oregon. Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. How are you, Shelley? You can see very calm out there on the lake here, Lake Superior. This is Duluth, Minnesota. Again, I wish I had, hey, Stephen, how are you? Chicago, North Dakota. So, I wish I gave you about an hour's notice so that way other people could have joined. But I was listening to the marine radio and I heard the pilot boat, that Sea Bear. You can see it there now in the distance in the center portion of the screen. It was going to be going outbound to drop off a pilot. I said, you know what? Santa Fe, New Mexico. I said, you know what? I'm going to come out here real quick for you. Person with the best view of the house in the house right here is, you got that seagull. Oh, there he goes. Got the moon. Let's see if I can zoom in there for you. Well, I just wanted to come out on a Friday night. I'm going to try to do this on a regular basis where on a Friday I come out. Hopefully it's a ship that's around 7, 8 o'clock Central, so it gives people time to get settled in on a Friday night and come back to the live streams. That's really how I started doing these ship videos and getting to know everybody. So I think I'm going to come back to doing those on a regular basis. Like I said, every Friday. If there's no ships, then maybe I'll push it to a Saturday. But it's always fun, you know, when I'm kicking back watching YouTube. My favorite thing is watching a few different live streamers and seeing what they're doing. So there's just something about it's happening right now. You know, that feeling where you're like, okay, this is happening right now. That's a fun part of it. But take a look at all the tourists, and maybe there are some locals here, but I was talking to Chuck earlier, and he told me there in Columbus, Ohio, the schools are back in session. So here in Minnesota, you see a lot of kids out here. The schools, they don't go back until right after Labor Day. So you still have a few more weeks left of people that if they didn't take their family trip, they're going to make their way up possibly to Duluth. Hey, how are you, Emma, in Indiana? Hopefully everything's going great for you. But so that's the thing. A lot of these families are up here for that. You know, hey, we're going to push off the trip till the end of the year, at least until the end of the summer. And well, now the end of the summer comes up on us quick. I think we all can attest to the fact that, you know, it was May, June, and then all of a sudden July almost feels like it was skipped. And now we're in towards the end of August. So there's a warm one here in Duluth today, about 74, 76 degrees. It felt with the dew point was higher and humidity felt closer to 80, 84, 85. But again, it's all perspective. I know that doesn't sound too hot, but in Duluth, that definitely feels pretty toasty. I'll walk down along the pier for you. We'll just see what happens. You can just people watch with me here for a few moments. Remember, this is a Friday night for all the people down here, so I think you're going to see a lot of smiles down here. And take a look at that sky back there. Let me give you a shot back here on the west side, hillside of Duluth. You can see the sun just went down. But again, a lot of families down here, a lot of people having some fun. And again, look at the right portion of your screen there. That's the Federal Euchera. Looking forward to seeing that tonight. So I'll definitely be listening to the marine radio, and I'll be out here. Hey, Jody, how are you? Yeah, it's kind of fun. You know, I know we share a lot of information, the comments, but for me to come out and talk a little bit live and say what's up to everybody, that's always fun. That's right. So what Jody is talking about, if you are here, this museum, the Maritime Museum that you see right there to the right of the Bayfield tug, you can actually see some of the screens through the window. And what she's talking about, if you're here and you want to see when is the next vessel, if you're just walking around, that's where you go. They have a display board that will show updated vessel traffic. Let's take a quick peek and see what's going on over on the South Pier. I think with the videos that I put out there, you're pretty used to me being over on that side. I think this is somewhat unfamiliar territory for me being on this side right now. Hey, Karen, how are you? Karen's in St. Paul. Kind of fun with the shot where you got the moon right there. Pamela, how are you? Long time no talk. Pamela is a very famous mod on a lot of live streaming channels. A lot of people trust her in making sure things go right in those live streaming situations. So she definitely knows what she's doing, controls the people, and she's a good friend to everybody. Well, again, summer is winding down, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on your situation. I mean, for us, At the start of the year, I'd say springtime. I was really looking forward to the summer. Summer's been great, and I really wasn't looking forward to fall and the cold. But I think after you have 2 or 3 months of warm conditions and really really nice here, I would say this summer in Duluth, it's not going to be too big of a deal to transition now to the winter and to the fall. I'm not trying to speed it up, but I'm okay with it. Hey Tammy, how are you? Give you a shot of what the people are doing. So the kids, this is a very famous spot where the kids will come down, and even adults, they'll grab that rock, throw it into the lake. Some people try to skip the rocks as well. You can see the communication towers. They're in the hillside in Duluth. Dennis, how are you? No, I'm not ready for ice yet either, Dennis. All I'm saying is, you know what? I'm okay with it when it does happen. I think I've had a good summer. And worst case scenario, if it gets too cold, you just gotta go online, check for some tickets, and start heading south. They got the scooters that you can rent right here. This light wind really feels nice. Ah, Michael, you saw me on the lighthouse cam. I think someone was asking about the depth of the canal. So the ship canal is maintained at 28 to 32 feet in the entrance, right over here, and 27 feet deep in the iron ore routes. I know that. So you have a dredging vessel that stays out here, and they make sure that there's no issues for these large boats that need to pass through Duluth and Superior as well. But if not many people are familiar with Duluth, this is really at least in the state of Minnesota, when you live down in the Twin Cities. Hey, Bill, how are you? When you're down in the Twin Cities, so that's Minneapolis, St. Paul. This is where everybody comes up to. They're by the lake. I mean, really, if you think about it, Minnesota in North America is probably the furthest you can be from the ocean. So for us in Minnesota, and in the Midwest, really, people will congregate. They'll come up here to Duluth because I mean, this is our ocean. It's a freshwater lake. But when you're here, you feel like you're away from the big city. Hey, Peter, how are you? So Peter, every video, he's always joining in with the boat friends. He's awesome. And the one thing, Peter, let everybody in chat know, Peter has a houseboat down in Texas. And what Peter did is he outfitted that houseboat with a couple, loud train horns. So when he's rolling that boat through the canal or, under a bridge, I'm sure that he lets it rip. And, people are like, okay, that woke them up. I don't think they need an espresso after that. So I'm sure you've had a couple fun experiences with that. But another thing about Peter and a lot of the people that are in the southern portion of the United States, you've been going through a lot of heat. And Peter will come in and tell us, hey, it's 107, 110, 112, and it's every single day. So, I think especially when I see the forecast here in Minnesota, in Duluth, down in the Twin Cities, when I see someone that is dealing with 110 every day, and, we get up to 91 or 88, it's just, it's not even close. You can see the parking lot. Hey, Deb, how are you? Yeah, Bill is in Milwaukee. Actually, there's some good ship watching out there too. I remember being in Milwaukee a few times, and Northwestern Mutual has a headquarters right there next to the lake, Lake Michigan. And down from there, there is a lighthouse I remember driving down to, because when I go to these type of places, anywhere that I can find boats, ships, I'm always looking for it. But Milwaukee did have a nice little harbor area, and they had a pier that was down there, so that was pretty interesting. Another thing that it has been pretty funny is that when people have asked me, what are some of your memories of Milwaukee? Obviously the lake, but I got to tell you, I had a great set of enchiladas at a Mexican restaurant there in Milwaukee. So typically, when you think of Mexican food, you aren't really thinking Milwaukee. Hey, I had a really great experience there. I can't recall the restaurant, but I walked out of there saying, hey, that was top three. So, Leslie, if you've never seen the lift bridge before, so this is Duluth, Minnesota. This bridge has been here a long time, since the early 1900s. And originally, what would happen is it would swing back and forth. So, this whole platform that you see right there, that you can see vehicles that are driving back and forth, and it will lift all the way up to allow ships to go through. Well, many years ago, early 1900s, you would have almost like a cable car looking type of deal that would go back and forth and drop people off on both sides. Well, what they did is they retrofitted the original structure right here, rebuilt it a little bit, and then they added this bridge, the platform here for the vehicle traffic, and it goes all the way up. Pretty interesting. Incredible engineering if you think about it. No computers, no nothing. These are people with paper, pencil, these type of things, and they were able to construct that, and look how long it's been here. What's funny is you go and buy some of these washer and dryers, these new ones that are, you stack the stackable ones, you have the computer and all that. You have to have a repair person out there in 6 months. Some of that old stuff built a little better. Built a little better. That's all I'll say. Yeah, you can. You definitely can walk across there as well. There's a pedestrian side. If you might see, you can see some people actually in the middle of the bridge right there walking. They have a pedestrian side, and vehicle traffic will go back and forth as well. But this is that sweet spot for me when I like doing videos. It's fun doing a live stream right now because the sun is going down. I still have enough light to show you what's going on, to give you a little bit of that sunset, because when it gets too dark, it's just not going to work too well with the lighting, especially when I'm live streaming on YouTube. It's not going to give me the light that I really need. What is the temperature where everybody's at right now? So I told you here in Duluth, I'm sitting at about, I'd say 71 degrees, and there's a light breeze. So I saw where everybody's at, but what are we dealing with temperature? I know southern part of the U.S., very warm, but then I've had, like Johan and some of the other people, like Johan's in South Africa, and he will tell us in the comments that it's cold there right now. It's 50, 60 degrees. So obviously, depending on where you're at, there's going to be different temperatures. But what are you dealing with temperature-wise? So 73, pretty similar to what I got going on here. 71, yup, 80. '77, '68, '75. Lord, 114. Whoa. You could almost double some of these temperatures. 80 in Austin, yep. 68 there in Ontario. 65, 82. Yeah, so that's the thing. What it feels like too with that dew point and humidity, that can get pretty crazy up there. Wow, yeah, the 100 plus. That's Hey Ralph, how are you? So Ralph is in Alabama, so I know that 85. But that's going to be a muggy, humid 85. Am I correct with that? Yep, Bill, 114. I don't think we're interested in that. And you just got to think about some of those AC bills. I don't want to rub salt in a wound at all, but I kind of cringe to think about having that AC going all the time. That has to be a pretty hefty bill. But I'm guessing some of these states and cities, they have these regulations where, they'll actually turn it off for 15 minutes, and it's forced 30 minutes I've actually heard too. So I don't know if that's the case in some of those areas. But look at this beautiful bridge. Get down closer to the... Oh yeah, 134 in Iraq. Yeah, that's you know, I have some people that I know that when they were there, they saw the camel spiders as well. So I mean, that can be a whole nother situation. But I'm going to try to keep that moon in there, the lift bridge, give you something to look at. Hopefully you're kicking back on a recliner, enjoying a Friday night. I'm enjoying myself out here, checking out the bridge, talking with you. Take a look. Still a good amount of people just kind of hanging out, sitting on the bench. Typically when I do my videos of the ships, I like being up on this hill. It just gives me a good observation point to see what is going on, look over people's shoulders. Oh, so David, you're wondering how would you recognize me? Well, that's the thing. I mean, I'm just I stay pretty low key. Once in a while, people they'll figure it out it's me. I think because of my voice, and you know, we'll talk about the ships again. I have no problem. People come up, let's talk, have some fun talking about the ships. But I like just kind of blending in, having some fun. Yeah, the depth under the lift bridge, 28 to 32 feet, and they have that dredged, so these large ships are able to come through. And let me show you a few vessels that are at anchor out there. So that's the Federal Cachero. Mentioned that before, and that's going to be coming inbound, and it's going to be coming inbound for iron ore. And Chuck, I don't know, were you ever able to figure out where that vessel is going to be going after it departs? Got someone that was out there fishing. That's definitely a fishing boat. Got a lot of trout, big fish, there's sturgeon. Really everything you can think of is in that lake. Yeah, that one did leave. So Bill, that was the Utah. That one actually came inbound and then loaded and departed. So I think really what the issue was there was a lot of speculation. Could there be something mechanically wrong? But what it ended up being is it was a schedule situation. So they were actually scheduled to come in at that time. So you can imagine those crew members that were sitting there for a week and a half, or at least a week at anchor waiting to come in. Had to be a lot of games of checkers, and who knows. You got to have a good cook on board if you're sitting there for a week not moving. And wouldn't you think that if you are on those ships, no matter which ship it is, even if they're at our anchor or not, I mean, they're on board for months at a time, and they're not with their family, so you really got to get along with these people that are on board. So you really got to make that into your secondary family. So that's important. You know, you got to be a team player and make sure that you're making things easy on everybody because you're away from your family, you know. I've been here where there's Thanksgiving or there's any of these holidays, and you'll see these ships out there at anchor. So that's what they're doing during these holidays. Let me go walk over here by that parking lot, show you what's going on over here. Well, what would you like me to do? Do you want me to walk down and kind of show you the action that's going on over here in Canal Park? Do you want me to walk over by the bridge? Give me a number one, put a 1 in the comments if you want me to walk down here and we'll see all the action that's going on. Put a 2 if you want me to just kind of hang around over here by the lift bridge. So I'll wait to see what the consensus is. Give you a shot at that sunset. You know, and honestly, if I do it right, I think I could do both 1 and 2. Why don't we give that a try? I'm gonna go and give you some action. I'll walk around Grandma's over here in Canal Park, then we'll try to walk back over to the bridge. The light is still hanging in there with me with this live stream. That's a good thing. So let's just do 1 and 2 so everybody wins. And this right here, it's not open, but this is a stand where people have popcorn and there's little snacks. So if you're sitting down here, neat little thing. This is where you pay to park in this parking lot. A lot of people up here. I was driving around, and it's obviously the end of the tourist season. As I mentioned, Minnesota schools go back right after Labor Day, so you still have a lot of families out here. Hey, Chili, Arizona. We already know it's warm there. We don't even have to ask you, is there snow there? Nope. Yeah, I've done some scooters before with a GoPro attached, so that way you can really see what's going on. That was a long time ago. Then I transitioned to doing some ships because I really enjoyed them, and frankly, I was really doing the ships, those videos. Oh, here's these horses over here. So you can take a carriage ride if you want. That's pretty cool. Looks like some people are getting set up to do that. Or maybe they're at the end. And what they'll do with those horses, they'll go all the way down the street right here. But you know what I ended up doing with those ship videos, I was really going to make that as a, I don't know, kind of a video photo album for myself because I wanted to go back and watch those ships. So I would have never believed that people would be interested in listening to me talk about ships. But it's just fun. And that's the thing. It's about the ships. That's the funnest part about it. Is I get to tell the story as these ships come in and we see them, the same ones all the time. You know, we've seen the PRT numerous times, but guess what? Every time they come in, there's different conditions, you know, from the weather, maybe there's waves, and it's just so fun. And one thing that I always craved with these videos in Duluth, I always wanted someone to just, almost like a live news reporter, just call it as they see it. You know, if they see a flag that is flying from the wind, if they see the moon, you know, pointed out, because you know, over time, I always loved watching the news. So I would have different news channels going, seeing what's going on. If there was ever weather coverage, I would go to the weather channel and I want to see what's going on live. So I tried to take that same type of format, whereas I was looking at the vessels, I would just say kind of what I'm thinking. Hey, I see this wave, I see that person on deck. And that was a whole approach. And I have a lot of fun. You know what I'll do? I'm going to cross the street right here. So here's the lift bridge. This is Lake Avenue. We'll come right back here. But I'll show you over here. And there's a couple breweries that are right here. So right down the street. And they have these old school historic buildings. They're all brick. Hey, how are you? Again, you can still see that sunset. Oh yeah, there's a lot of craft beer up here in Duluth. There's one actually, a real fitting name. It's called Lift Bridge beer that's up here. So there's a lot of them. A lot of them popped up, and it's not just in Minnesota. I mean, they're all over the country. Yeah, those scooter videos, Jody, that was me really exploring at the same time. I was getting to know the area, and that scootering was just kind of playing around, having fun. But I guess it does serve a purpose to show where things are at so you have a better familiarity of those things. So you have had Lift Bridge. I've never tried that. What did you think? 1 out of 10. Well, unless you want to see a bunch of parking lots here, let me get back onto the Lake Avenue. You can go see that in your town, the parking lots. Let's get out of here. And straight ahead, you have grandmas. So this place right here, straight ahead, that's Grandma's. And obviously the people that have been here to Duluth, you know, that's the main spot right next to the lift bridge. Good food. They have a rooftop where people can hang out. But that is ground zero from a restaurant standpoint for the ships. So I'm going to cut through Grandma's parking lot. Look at that old car there. That's cool. Take a look at the building. Been here a long time. Long time. So let's cut through Grandma's together. You know, the lighting, I'm surprised. It's actually still pretty good this late. Usually when you stream on YouTube, you can start having issues with the lighting at least. Type of food that's at Grandma's, kind of American, a little bit of mix of everything. There's been some Italian there. There's a lot. It's anybody can go there and you'll find something. Yeah, I'll go point at South Pier Inn. You know, I'm going to tell you something about South Pier. Doing videos, a couple times I have bumped into the owners of South Pier, and it's a couple that years ago bought that land, and there was nothing on it, if you can believe that, Jody. Nothing was on it, and they bought that land, and they didn't even have any. They said, we're going to do something with it. We just don't know what we're going to do. And they built that hotel, and I mean it makes sense now after the fact. That's the best thing you could ever have ever done. But it's just it's incredible knowing that that land was available and nobody was even thinking of purchasing it right next to the lift bridge. So when we get down here, I'll point that out to everybody. I hear the bells ringing for the lift bridge. I'm guessing this is going to be a lift. This is the bottom of the hour lift. So right now it's 8:30 Central Time. And the way this works is there are vessels that go out through the day. Obviously, the big ships, they will open the bridge for them when they need it. But if you're just let's say a sailboat or whatever it might be, you have to wait till the top of the hour. So it'd be 9 o'clock or the bottom of the hour, 8:30, etc. And they will open it on those half-hour points. Here's that schedule that Jody was talking about. So let's actually take a look at that. So when you walk up at the visitor center, you will see that schedule, and it'll tell you the next ship that is either departing or arriving. We have a personal vessel, looks like needed to have a lift. And I see a sailboat out there as well. Western New York, oh yeah. You definitely know snow as well. You'd get it. Now that, to me, that's a perfect vessel, a private vessel for Great Lake. That's the right size. Sometimes I will see the people out there with almost just a small aluminum boat with it almost looks like a trolling motor they're using to go out on this big lake. I mean, I guess it's one of those things where someone brings their boat up to Lake Superior and they want to just say they went out, but I'm serious. Those waves can be really problematic if you don't know what you're doing. But again, beautiful, beautiful conditions for those that are just joining. Duluth, Minnesota, right here on Lake Superior. You're looking at the aerial lift bridge. Can raise up to 135 feet for big ships that come through. We got a beautiful sunset. These people have the right idea on a Friday. Here's something to point out as well. I've mentioned this on some of the videos, but you have those rip currents. Believe it or not, they're on Lake Superior. These are the warning levels: low, medium, and high. And that flag, I don't think we'll be able to see the actual color, but maybe you can. If you look in the center portion of the screen, you can see a green flag that's flying. And you have Park Point Beach that's in that direction down there. And you definitely want to check out that flag before you get out there. But just be safe. You know, it's you don't want to play around with Mother Nature, being out in the water, even if you're the best swimmer. With currents and waves, it can really come up on you quick where you're not expecting it. And Jody was talking about South Pierian. So that land that I was talking about, take a look at. See that right over there? Almost looks like town homes over there. That's a hotel. That's South Pierian. Now just imagine that land was available for purchase at one point, and a private party purchased it and turned it into a hotel. No brainer now, but there was a time. Here's a smaller boat that's coming in through the canal. When I look in those boats, the thing that I always look for and makes me happy is when I see people with life jackets on. Look, it might be bulky, it might get warm, but trust me, I don't care what lake you're on, what river you're on, just put a life jacket on. You'd rather be safe than sorry. So that'd be my advice. But take a look at the water in the canal. And one thing that I'm going to show you, Chuck, we've talked about this many times. Here's a new light that we typically don't see. You have a green light. You'll have either an amber yellow or a green or yeah, yellow, green, or red. Wow, that is amazing. Someone just donated $50. That's incredible. Thank you very much, and I really appreciate that. Just out here having some fun. I'm glad that you're enjoying. I hope you are having a fantastic Friday night. Well, back to this light here that caught me off guard. The green light is illuminated because that will tell the captain the current direction here in the canal. Green is outbound, red is inbound, and yellow or an amber light is a neutral current in the canal. Take a look at this beautiful sailboat. Again, I hope everybody is having a fantastic Friday. Be nice if everybody was here next to me, but guess what? We kind of are, just going through a video feed talking together. Here's a question I have for you. How many of you have actually been to Duluth? So a 1 if you've been here to Duluth, and a 2 if you've never actually physically been to Duluth. 1, have you been here? 2, I've never been here. Wow, so there's a good amount of, a lot of you really haven't been here. Well, I'll tell you this. Just like any city, you have your ups and downs. I mean, I know you get to see the ships, and I show the lift bridge, and it's a beautiful place, no doubt about it. But just like any place, you just got to use common sense. You know, you don't go down the dark alley at night, etc. But I'll tell you, when you are over here in this Canal Park area, this is called Canal Park. There's a ton of shops, a lot of things to do. When you are over there in Canal Park, you are very safe. Very safe. I mean, again, this is really the tourist mecca for Minnesota, so they keep it safe. You see a lot of law enforcement presence, and you feel safe. I mean, I see officers on bikes all the time, and really no issues. So that's one thing I'll throw out. If you have kids or if you're just here with a friend, you really don't have a lot to worry about. It's always been safe. It's very family friendly, and it's very fun. The thing that I get a lot of joy out of is seeing those young kids. I think of myself in those situations where, they'll see the ship for the first time. I mean, I can vaguely recall seeing a ship for the first time and seeing this lift bridge and really falling in love with it. As I mentioned before, I grew up in Minneapolis, so there was no ships. I mean, maybe a rowboat I saw it on the lake a few times, and some boats out on Lake Minnetonka, but other than that, I mean, this is really where you see these ships coming through. Well, we got the bell. The bells are going off again. Now this is interesting. It's 8:37. Trying to figure out what's going on here with the bridge. It's not the top of the hour, bottom of the hour. Let's take a look at what's going on. I'll try to show you here at the end of the piers. I see some light. And you see these scooters coming. Well, what do you think, everybody? Do you want me to hang out here for a little longer, or do you think I should? Maybe I've been talking too much here. Just thought that you want to hang out, check out Duluth. Maybe I've shown you everything, but I'm willing to sit out here and have some fun still and show you what's going on. Let me know what you think. Oh, Coast Guard coming back. Coast Guard. So this is what we're going to see. Okay, so that makes sense. The ocean-going vessel just came into Duluth. This one right out here. I've talked about it a few times. The federal ship right there, the red one. I saw the pilot boat bringing a captain, bringing him out there to get on board. Now, right here, I just got an update saying that this is a Coast Guard vessel, so I believe that's what we will see here. Let's just see. And so that makes sense. So the Coast Guard vessel would go out there and probably inspect that vessel, the ocean-going vessel that came into the port. So what I'll do, I'll try to get a little closer. It definitely looks like it could be a Coast Guard vessel. Well, let me do the best thing I can for you. Let me actually walk down and get right next to the canal wall for you. Give me 1 second, I'll tell you. Take a look at that moon as well. Now look at that. How can you beat that? That lift bridge is just, that sets the tone. If that lift bridge wasn't there, I mean, it'd be cool. That's Coast Guard, yep. So we're going to see this Coast Guard vessel go by us. Interesting. Let me try to give you as much as I can. Let's take a look at that big vessel out there, South Pier Lighthouse, the Coast Guard vessel at the same time. Another thing I just want to pass along to everybody, look, I don't think seeing cruise ships will ever get normal for me in Duluth. They're very cool. I love doing those videos. I love talking about them. But seeing a cruise ship go under the aerial lift bridge, like a legit cruise ship too, not like just some small tour vessel, it's just pretty amazing. Pretty cool though. See how tight I can get in on that without having to get too grainy. So now this Coast Guard vessel is going to be waiting for the lift bridge. Take a look at the amount of people that are going across the bridge right now. Look at that. Okay, I hear the bells going off and the announcement is happening that the bridge is going to be going up. So let me pull it back over here. We'll watch. I'll keep that Coast Guard vessel connected with the bridge. And then you can see that lighthouse there on the right side. Chuck, correct me if I'm wrong with that. Isn't that the South Pier Inner Lighthouse that's called? Yeah, it's a beautiful harbor. It's a beautiful area. You know, and these are the days, especially in the summer, that I really look forward to with those long winters. Let me give you the whole bridge here. That's the best, and the moon. But think about it. When it's 24, 30 below zero here in Duluth, I mean that's cold. So I look forward to these type of days where, right now I got a hoodie on. I got some shorts. I do have flip flops. In Minnesota, you can wear flip flops when it's above 40 degrees. Remember that. That's okay. But this is that perfect night where you have that light breeze. It's a little cool. It's excellent. Like, leave the windows open. I'll give you the people there too on the pier. I like people watching too. If you go to a fair or whatever, I'll sit on that chair. I'll be watching what are people doing. But so that what that also means, by seeing that Coast Guard vessel, that lets us know right now that that vessel out here, the ship, Federal Euchera, that is probably going to be coming inbound anytime. Now, if that thing really does start moving, as I'm doing the live stream, I did want to record it and get a 4K video of that because I've never seen that vessel. But I'll tell you this, I'll make you a promise. If that thing starts moving and I'm live streaming, we're just going to roll with it. We're going to roll all the way through. And that's how it goes. George, 100 degrees in Missouri. Where in Missouri? St. Louis area? Wow. Yeah, those 100-degree temperatures, it's just pretty tough. But here's what I want you to notice. Just people relaxing, chilling. It's a Friday night, sitting out here. And you see a lot of these scooters. There was one time that I saw, I don't know, there had to be 30 teenagers just in a row. Is this a train of scooters? Let me walk over here by the water for you. It looks like there's still good enough light to show you this. So as I'm walking right here, I'll take a look at the city, that large building right there in the center portion of the screen. That is called Essentia Health. That's Essentia Health's main building, and that's really the largest healthcare provider up here in the Duluth area, which is called the Northland. But it's a beautiful city right on the edge of Lake Superior. You got a breakwater right here. A lot of waves will just fly over the top of this. And I'm going to tell you this, I really am looking forward to, not right away, I'm good with a few months, but I'm waiting for those big storms in late October, November, and I will be here. I'm going to live stream it, and I'll be out here, and I do have a setup where it's going to allow me to be out here in the rain, sleet, snow, with the microphone, where I'm not going to worry about damaging my camera. So this is going to be a legit experience where you will be there firsthand with me. It was a good shot. Try to get that moon in there too. Aerial lift bridge, it's very rarely. So they have the ability to change the colors on that, but very rarely do they. Very special occasions, but once in a while, I did see on the 4th of July, they did red, white, and blue once. But you don't see it too often. Yeah, K2, you will be there, but you'll be on your chair, yeah, watching on a screen. But another thing that I did, I went on Amazon and I bought a full set of rain gear, so I'm set. I got the full jacket, the pants, the boots, the gloves, and there's a hat that connects to the back of the jacket, kind of like a hoodie. So I'm all set to go. It's a big vehicle path there. The road is pretty big. Oh, so while I'm there, take a look at this. You can actually see, if you look, That's where the aerial lift bridge operator controls the bridge. And you can actually see the screens on. They have monitors in there that they monitor the traffic, the people on the bridge, what's going on. And once in a while, when there's people that, as the bridge is about to go up, you'll see people trying to, mess around, hang on to the bridge, and that the screens right there, they are able to see all of that very clearly, and they will come through on an announcement. They have a speaker system, and they will, and believe me, they have the volume turned up. And when they hear someone say, "Hey, let go of the bridge" or "back away," people listen. I think I just saw. Let me pull up that comment there. It looked like there was storms in Michigan that I just saw. Tornadic activity, I believe. Yeah, that Duluth trading. That's interesting to have that name floating out there. Two tornadoes in Michigan. Ralphie, how are you? Now that's another person. So when I talk about, I love watching some live streams. Ralphie, he gets out there and I'm able to watch him. That's one of the ones that I relax with. Yeah, that that Hurricane Hillary that came through. Now here's the thing, very crazy to see that much rain and moisture hitting Southern California, and I was really hoping, especially for our friend Peter and some of the people in the southwestern portion of the United States, that storm front would move towards them, but they really didn't get clipped with it at all. Atmospherically, it wouldn't allow it to pop. Take a look at the flags. Still got that wind coming, but I'm keeping my eye on. Actually, hang with it real quick. I'm going to go on marine traffic and I'm going to see live what's going on, because that would be pretty cool. Nope, not seeing any movement. However, I do see the Vista Star that is lighting up on there, so I'm guessing it's right. Let me see if we can find it. I just saw. Might have to get closer for you to see it, but I did see it on. I did see it on marine traffic. So what's everybody's plans? I'll tell you, here in Minnesota, we have the Minnesota State Fair. And every state talks about they have the best fair, the best this and that. I really do think we have a good one, and it's been ranked number 1, number 2, number 3, up against Texas a lot. Does everybody else have the fairs, or just, what do you got going on this weekend? Anything fun? There's some events here in Duluth. And you know what? It's okay to chill and relax too. That's what the weekend's all about. I've had, hey Corey, how are you? Justin, how are you? Here's the thing. I know that you've had these type of weekends like I've had. You have a grind during the week. You work, you dedicate yourself to what you do, and then the weekend hits. And the problem with me is it's hard for me to really sit still. I'll be able to, once in a while sit around, but I like moving around. I like doing stuff. So Friday night hits. Well, look what I'm doing right now. I'm out here with you. We're having some fun. Then Saturday will hit. I'll be doing something all day Saturday. Then Sunday. And then it's like, okay, did I even rest this weekend to be ready for Monday? So that's important. But I have created a routine where on a Sunday, I really do decompress. I'm relaxed. I'm ready to go on a Monday. So that way I'm focused for what I have to do at my job. So it's important that you do have that Sunday, so you're ready to go from Monday, but you can have some fun in the meantime. Look at that beautiful moon up there. You know what? We're gonna give it a shot. Let's go over and try to walk over the aerial lift bridge. I'm gonna walk with you now because it can get kind of stale. I'm sitting on that hill, for 20 minutes? Let's give it a shot. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go walk along the pier. We're gonna walk along the side, and we're gonna try to go right up on the bridge. Yeah. Okay, Tennessee State Fair goes through the weekend. North Carolina doesn't happen until October. Yeah, I've had a really good time. I think I've been there twice. I'm trying to remember, but I was in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I had such a great time. I stayed at a Westin there, and I had some things for work to do. Once I took care of that, I took this tram that they have downtown to a couple of the restaurants, and it was a fun time. People were great. Then I went to a location called the Midnight Diner, and it's, I believe it's open 24 hours a day, but it's one of those places where everything was on the menu. You want a taco, if you want a croissant, if you wanted spaghetti, everything was on that menu. And you got to have some legit chefs there to be able to cook anything up. Okay, now take a look at this. So here's Grandma's. You might have recalled that I've done a video right up there. But think of being here in Duluth, you get something to eat or drink, and you're sitting out there on the chairs, and this is your view. Not too bad. So you're going to Edmond, Oklahoma, and then Tulsa. Tulsa gets pretty hot too. Jody, did you have a good experience in Charlotte as well? I had a great time. Good things for business happened there, so everything else was icing on the cake from that point on. So here we go. Elizabeth's going to Raleigh. Springville, California. So here you go, everybody. Give you a quick shot. Look up all the way to the top. So you can see 15-mile-per-hour speed limit as you go across the bridge. And if you notice, it's going to go from asphalt to metal. In the distance, I can hear a concert right now. You can see over there at the Bayfront Festival Park, there's a concert going on. We're going for it. We're going on the bridge. I can feel the breeze. So if you're with me right now, there's a breeze, a little more breeze than down there. I'll take a look at the roadway. You can see all the way through to the people below walking. Obviously for rain and other conditions, all that precipitation goes right through the bridge. Over here's a Army Corps of Engineers building. That's the original building. I believe, if I recall correctly on the date, it was either 1905 or 1906 that was constructed. Think of the storms that has faced over the years. Oh yeah, Pier B, I'll bet you can see that on that camera there, Chuck. Well, I'll give you a vehicle that's going by so you can hear that unique noise as it hits. Yeah. Okay, so let's see if I can zoom in a little more on that. Here's the lift bridge operator screens. So what it looks like is you have some monitors that are giving you different views up there. I mean, that looks like a sports bar set up there with all the monitors. We go to the center portion of the bridge here. And the lift bridge operator, they get up into that operations center right there. There's a stairway that goes all the way up. So here we are in the center portion of the bridge. That's cool. Yeah, I love those channel lights right there, the green and the red. And maybe here's a better look at that south pier over on that side. Yeah, you know, I was really surprised to see how many of you have not been to Duluth. But then again, when you watch these videos and you see different things online, it is a cool city. You know, it really is. That the lift bridge, that right there is a thing that sets the tone, wouldn't you say? And then you have all the ships, and Chuck has told me this many times. He says, "Look, you're in a spot that you get more vessel traffic than most people on the Great Lakes," and I definitely don't take that for granted. And you're pretty close to the vessels too. When I'm along that canal wall, not a lot of places you can be that close to those huge ships. There's grandmas, people back up on the top, and that Lake Avenue goes all the way down. Well, you know what I'm gonna do, boat friends? We've had some fun. Been out here over an hour. I was just planning to show you a boat going through for about 5 minutes, and you know how it goes. I mean, I digress into all of this, so it was fun, but it's a Friday night. Wanted to have you walk with me around Duluth. You're next to the lift bridge, but you know what? I'm gonna keep my eye on that ship that's out there at anchor. Hopefully, it comes in tonight. If it doesn't, it'll probably come in tomorrow. But I'll make sure that I get some good video for you. So, well, hey, you continue to have a great night. I will be out here again soon. And like I said, I'm going to try to do Friday and Saturday nights. We'll go live, have some fun. There'll be some ships. I'll try to time it where there's ships. But either way, you have a great night.